Good morning. It is Friday. Friday all day today. Let me just move that camera a little bit. It's cushion off the top of my head. Welcome to your Lockdown Live number 29. This is the 29th recording of these little snippets, these little poppets of granola in the morning. Positive psychology, all things resourcing to help you through this time. Okay, today I wanted to look at mindfulness. What's mindfulness? It feels like a word that has been around probably for about 10-15 years now. Whenever I think about mindfulness, I always change the word into awareness and consciousness, because for me that's kind of what it means. It's like, to be mindful, we are going to be aware. So let me quickly explain the difference between being aware and not aware. We spend approximately about 95% of our working day, 95% in our unconscious mind. Our unconscious mind is the part of the mind that is full of pre-programming, old programming, routines. So I walk in the shower, I don't need to think about what I'm doing, I just know where the soaps are and how I'm going to wash. When I get dressed, I don't need to think about it. When I make a cup of tea, I don't need to think about it. All pre-programmed. But we spend about approximately 95% of the day in the unconscious mind. I find that absolutely fascinating. So when we become mindful, we are moving from the unconscious part of the mind, from that 95% into the 5%. So we become very mindful of what we're doing. Even then, just to give you an example, I was talking to you, but then part of my mind had hived off and was saying, how can you demonstrate mindfulness? So even we can be operating on several levels at the same time. So I picked up this pen and I want to touch the pen, feel the pen, see what color it is, but really look at the font. And as I look at the font and the color, then I start sinking into the pen a little bit and I become more mindful and I don't just see a pen sat on my desk. That's a really simple explanation of mindfulness. It's the difference between conscious and unconscious. Okay, but just remember that figure, because for me that is absolutely mind-blowing. So how do we, a mindfulness isn't sat cross-legged like this. Oops, move that mic. It's not that. It's not that. Honestly, a really nice way to be mindful or to practice mindfulness is to deep breathe, to just sit really still and to breathe as deep as you can and then back out again in rhythm, in and out. When we catch the breath and we feel it going in through the nose and we feel it going all the way down into the diaphragm, then we are being mindful. Not only are we being mindful, but we are calming the mind down. Because what we're doing is we're switching that 95% to the 5%, and then the business that's always there, and I must do this, and I must do that, and I must do this, that's always there, all of a sudden goes like this, and we become much calmer. I talk a lot about breath works and deep breathing because it's simply the most powerful thing that we can do on a day-to-day basis. So just a few things to throw at you in terms of practicing mindfulness, and I've tried to go for the simplest things that I can come up with. So a mindful wake up. So wake up with purpose. So that's kind of like waking up, and we do that thing where we wake up in the morning, we go, right, I'm busy, I've got stuff to do, I must go and do all of this stuff. Try waking up in the morning and going, what is my intention for the day? What is the one thing that I want to do today? What's the one thing that I want to achieve? Okay, so then we call that setting an intention right there. The other thing we do, and I encourage everybody to do this all the time, is sit out of bed, put your feet on the floor, and spend 2 minutes doing some really, really deep breaths, as deep as you can. And then we get up and then we get on with our day. If you go in the shower, then get in the shower and do some more deep breaths, really deep. Deep breathing in the shower is absolutely amazing because there's something really cathartic about washing yourself on the outside, but then it feels like when you do the deep breathing that you cleanse yourself on the inside as well. And definitely what you do is you definitely calm the mind down, okay? So wake up with purpose and intention. So set your intention for the day, which is like purpose, and do some really deep breathing to set your day off. A mindful pause. A mindful pause is about just stopping, and sometimes I want to look at something. Sometimes I'm not. Uh, I can actually. So if I look that way, there's a window right in front of me, and I can see some trees and a car and a lamppost and all different things, and I could really sit and just focus on the branch. It's the branch that's drawing me in at the minute. I could really sit and look at that for just a few minutes. We call that a mindful pause. When all of the noise begins to filter back in, we gently push it away and we go back to the tree, look at how the tree is gently moving because there's a little bit of wind outside. Look how tall the tree is, just really focusing on the tree, and everything else goes silent. You know, the busyness, because we live in a world that's like this all the time. And the other one was mindful workout. Mindful workout. Oh, the word workout feels really scary, doesn't it? For a lot of people, it does. So, or a mindful walk. A mindful walk or workout is when we, and I used to, when I years ago, I was a fitness instructor, and I used to say to people, I don't know, if they were doing a bicep curl and they were like doing a bicep curl, I was like, feel the muscle, engage with the muscle that you're working on. And that's mindful. I didn't know it then because I was much younger then. I didn't know what I was saying, but it's that's about me being mindful. If you're out walking, then be mindful of your posture. Is it strong? Is your core strong? Are you upright? And the other thing we can do whilst we're walking is we can really focus on the views around us. But then, and there's a little task that I ask people to do, and I'm going to ask you to do it now, real time wise. When you go out walking, I want you to take a couple of pictures. And the reason I don't want you looking at your phone, I don't want you looking at this, but what I do want you to do is take a couple of pictures, couple of close up, so like really like I can't remember the name for close up pictures, really close up pictures of a leaf, of a flower, of something, a piece of ice, or just something, and then take a couple of vistas. And the reason we do that is because it helps us engage with the world around us instead of just walking and walking and walking and walking. Okay, so just some little examples of mindfulness, but mindfulness is not necessarily this. Mindful is about being still. What did I write down here? It's awareness. It's being intensely aware of what you are witnessing, so what you are seeing and what you are feeling. Intensely aware. So when I look at this pen, I become intense with the pen, which sounds a little bit weird, but you know what I mean, because I'm really looking at it. I'm really looking at the color, the shade of silver it is, what color font they've used, what type of font they've used, the fact that the holder is broken off, all of that. I become engaged in it. That's mindful, and we can do that with anything. Try putting a piece of chocolate in your mouth, and not just because this is what I do. Try putting a piece of chocolate in your mouth and just letting it melt. One little square and just letting it gently melt, but really engaging in the flavors. That would be mindful. Whereas what I do with chocolate is I tend to throw it in as quickly as anything, and none of that's mindful. And then what happens with that is, I don't know if you're looking for weight loss, then all of a sudden that one chunk of chocolate becomes really, really satisfying. So there's some kind of weight loss tips in there as well. The Action for Happiness calendar says today, I think I've got the days mixed up again, so I've gone back to yesterday. Send an encouraging note to someone who needs a boost. There's a lot of people needing a boost right now, so send a little text just saying, I'm here for you. I think you're amazing. Whatever it is, just a little encouraging boost, okay? I'll be back tomorrow morning with the last lockdown live of the week. Looking at the best bits of all the week. So I'm going to draw the best bits of the last 4 days and deliver them tomorrow at 8:15. Okay, I'm going to go. I think I've talked for long enough. You know what mindfulness is? Oh, you've got an overview of what mindfulness is. Don't forget to share these people with you. Share these with those who you think it would be helpful. Okay, love and peace to everybody. Please be kind to yourself and please be kind to everybody around you. Everybody's struggling right now. Take care. Bye bye.